I love it. I love seeing this action coming out very early on in the game. Of course, everyone trying to place that vision. Do have a nice ward over there placed by the side of Tundra.
They're going to know. Alliance saw the Medusa for a second actually inside the river, so I think they expect that that ward's going to be up there. That's probably instantly dewarded. Yep, let's look at him go. Hanskin, easy money.
Easy, easy. Boop. Give me those dollars.
Nice. Did they split the experience? How many people took it? All 3 of them. Okay. Give that mid laner a little bit more of that XP advantage normally. But either way, do see these double wards coming out from the side of Alliance, looking like they're going to be watching rotations in particular from this Clockwork. Fada, I think he's going to be really crucial. You know, making that space for the Medusa. I think the game could get pretty disastrous if they can't secure the Medusa's farm and they start losing tower pressure. I think that's where Slark is just going to be able to thrive and use that advantage to just get that defusal. And if he does get defusal, he does get good timings versus Medusa. Alliance could run away with the game pretty quickly. But we'll see, because Medusa in some regions, especially like SEA, is unstoppable.
I think a lot of it comes down to, you know, the tempo that Alliance is able to create here. You know, all the eyes are on Nico Baby. You heard them all talking about, oh, Slark, you know, how does Slark going to work out in this? But again, you have Limp on this Death Prophet who's going to put pressure on those towers early. You can take fights early. And that is something that Medusa doesn't want to show up for, right? So there's so much pressure on Tundra to make sure they make that space so that way she can farm without any sort of problems. But I don't think Alliance is going to want to give them that breathing room.
No, I don't think so either. And when I do look at the Tundra draft, their D-push, it's not the greatest. Just to like pull those creep aggro and all that kind of stuff that we talk about, you know, your Linas, your, you know, just any type of like wave clear, it's harder. Snaking is probably the best one for it, and that can be a little awkward versus a Death Prophet. I do think Alliance can definitely set that tempo, but yeah, eyes on Fada. I think this is a big one, a really important one to see how much he's able to do, actually, to slow down this Centaur Rubik, this very strong kill lane. And it's also just a good lane versus Medusa, the little things mattering. Centaur's massive base damage, and then Rubik Fade Bolt damage reduction. Medusa might struggle down here. That's why you see Skeeter starting out this Quelling Blade, because that base damage differential.
I think it'll also be very important, the amount of stacks that we see created in this game, especially for this Medusa. And we also did talk about, you know, you're putting a lot of pressure over on Fada on this Clockwork. Typically, you know, with this team, we see, well, maybe not with this team, but with the players at least, you know, we typically see Fada wanting to play the Snapfire, and usually Snaking will play the Clock. But in this particular lineup, he said it makes the most sense here to lane it down here with Medusa. Yeah,
they don't want to have a double melee versus Slark up top, and then also you have a ranged carry, so that's where you want to usually have one of those melee 5 positions to just secure you the farm. Looks like range creep's going to get slightly denied. I did see Tundra also get one as well. So bottom's actually going fairly even at the moment here. Centaur falling slightly behind, at least in last hits, but good way that they're positioning the lane themselves. This top, we're seeing kind of a similar kind of thing, even out. And 9 is doing a good job in mid lane. So the sustain war is okay for him, and he is going to be important to make sure that Limp doesn't get out of control this game, because I do think towers, you know, objectives, those are going to be huge to enable Alliance's lineup.
So is this a situation that once we get those 6 online, are we going to see a movement like going over to that mid lane? Are they going to try to fight over the towers, or are we going to see them move to one of the other lanes to put pressure on the cores?
I think Alliance would like to make the move mid and just go for that tower as early as possible, yeah. Bottom, this lane is tough. You know, the Centaur, you see a couple last hits not going his way, but that's because they're going for they're threatening constantly. Like Skeeter, low on mana, they're constantly kind of going for him whenever Fada makes his move away from the lane.
I'm actually very happy that we're seeing S4 on a hero too that can make moves, because we saw him in some of the other matches. He was playing, you know, the Necrophos or whatnot, and it's definitely more his wheelhouse when you see him being able to be that initiator, getting those multi-hero stomps. So definitely looking forward to seeing what he can bring in this game.
He's been excellent on almost all of his Centaur games. I think like one of them he had a little bit of a rough one, but he made up for it later on. It was some fantastic play by him and the squad. And Hanskin's also been very impressive on his Rubik. Important to point out, we see him blocking. He unblocked his hard camp, and then he actually reblocked the enemy's safe camp, even though it got sentryed out as top FNG. Caught a bit far, but does have the Cold Embrace. Not going for a kill lane, as you see up here. Getting the Cold Embrace is much safer, especially because he's got a Slark in his lane, so he just wants to guarantee that safe farm for Nico Baby.
There's not a whole heck of a lot of magic that they can really dump out in that lane early on anyway, so being able to just stay within the lane and also be able to, you know, continue up the harass without having to buy a lot of consumables, right? Consumables are so expensive.
But they're actually going for the skill build that will have good magic damage, right? Snaking, he's actually opting to not get Little Shredder. He's getting 2 points in Scatter Blast, so he's taking the approach. He saw Cold Embrace skilled, and that's when he immediately put 2 points into that Scatter Blast, so he's adjusting because of what has been shown in the lane.
Solution is 9 having to go all the way home here.
That is early on. He was winning the lane, though, so that can happen from time to time. And he will still at least be able to get that water room, at least take it away from Limp. I think he only missed like 2 or 3 CS as well, which isn't the worst case there for the Void Spirit, who's doing, like I said, excellent versus the Death Prophet. Look at these denies on S4. 10 denies.
I'll deny the range creep at the very least.
They're getting a good amount too. Yeah, 3 denies on the clock, 7 on the other as Snaking steps up too far.
I mean, that's what you want to see if you're Alliance. You want to start seeing the Slark start to ball out of control. And again, it is only 1 kill, but that's, you know, the starting peg here as they're going to be able to climb up that ladder.
It's actually so important. Like Slark in lane, he can suffer a lot. That's what, you know, Brian was talking about in his games. The Slark overall just gets a counterpicked, especially in pub games. Like, you're just going to get ran at inside of your lane. So he saw the lane. They get the Wyvern to back him up. That is an excellent starter. Slark having a good game right now is going to be so important for Alliance. 1K gold advantage. This may seem super small, but them doing a good job top securing this farm already for Nico Baby, Orb Corrosion. Now this Tidehunter has to constantly be constantly scared too. He could actually go down as well if he steps up too far whenever Snapfire's next to him.
Well, Slark is always one of those heroes that doesn't typically do well playing from behind, so any sort of advantage he can get early on, very, very value.
Yeah. Those item timing's going to be huge, and we know that this is going to be an early defusal game for him. He's going to go Corrosion, Boots, probably like Treads, right into that defusal and can be super active. And it's quite good versus all the cores, actually. Void Spirit, Tidehunter, and Medusa do suffer quite a bit versus that mana burn.
Especially if it gets just brought on so early.
Yeah.
It's going to be very, very scary for the side of Tundra if he gets a good timing on it.
Yep, definitely. And Snaking, he has to go mid to help out 9 a little bit there, so he refills the bottle, but just means a free lane now for Nico Baby. So your Slark has gotten over kind of the hardest hump, in my opinion, already here, as Fada. He's soaking the pressure. He's like, yeah, hit me, please. This is my job. Hit me. Skeeter is falling behind a little bit, though, in the last hits. Look at the Slark. 30-2, Medusa 19-9.
Well, a little bit of that is, like you said, you know, Tidehunter's a bit loath to go forward against this because, you know, the Slark is starting to, you know, build up with the CS and whatnot, and it's just too scary for 33 to really approach unless they're very, very sure they can deal with it.
Oh, Snaking not getting the last hit there. Nico Baby actually getting it there. I believe like Orb Corrosion or maybe the last tick of Dark Pact gets it.
And gets the ward too.
Yes, he does. The beauty of playing Slark, but not quite yet. I mean, this is too early for it, but there's a century. Nice, easy money. FNG just sitting on the sideline, not playing in the lane really, just playing as his defensive. He's giving the Slark everything. This is some really good stuff from Alliance. 2K lead already. And this is nice.
Let's see. We do have the level 6s online now.
Oh, they're moving. They're actually sending Snaking bottom. They have to do something to alleviate the pressure that's coming onto Skeeter. I like this move.
Cookie hop forward here from Snaking. They've got the Scatter Blast. They'll hold him in place for a little bit longer here using those cogs. And S4 will eventually fall. So Skeeter will be able to get himself a nice kill. And it's a good rotation coming out from Tundra.
Very nice and very needed. Yeah, these lanes are already quite devastating. This Slark, as you said, absolute free farm, so they have to slow down Skeeter. Now, rotation mid. FNG comes, they pop the Exorcism. 9 is going to get pushed completely away here. Limp is even chasing him down a little bit.
Don't think they have the vision over here, so it's just going to go right back. 33 making his own rotation, doesn't really have any mana. They'll keep the Cardi alive using the Cold Embrace.
Oh, 33 has to
and 33 has to yeah, he does. He can't deal with it. And they're making a lot of rotations over to this mid lane now, trying to deal with this Exorcism. 9 over on the back line is just going to fight here with the Wyvern. Limp chasing down Snaking. Cookie Snide, they have enough damage? No, not quite. Snaking barely going to be able to walk away. As Limp, and you know, he didn't get that much tower damage on, but he got so many rotations and the TP out here from that Tidehunter.
I mean, that's huge. But they have to do this on Tundra. If they lose this mid tower early on, this game is just going to be so difficult for them to play because the Medusa is going to constantly get invaded on, and they don't have the ways, as we said. The D push, it's not really there on their lineup, so they have to just go for those type of fight plays and just manipulate the waves. But I think the lanes are all going to start getting broken on the side of Tundra. I feel like Alliance has just kind of smashed them. Like, Mosquito is going to be in quite a dangerous position down here. As soon as S4 hits level 6, they can stampede and get on top of him and go for the kills. And your Nico Baby Slark has an absolute free game on the Slark.
Gonna feel very happy about that. 9 over here in the mid lane. Some harass is coming out.
And they get another D ward, a secondary one.
9 though, gonna go grab up the illusion rune. Limp is here though. FNG is gonna sidestep around here. Does have that Cold Embrace. 9, I think he's going to survive here. Goes pops the illusion rune. So the chase is on over on the back lines. 9 getting Spirit Siphon down. He's gonna survive with almost no hit points here again as Limp here is forced to just taunt himself away back to safety over in the river. But again, look at the way that Tundra is forced to
Super
react
good.
every time. While Nico Baby just allowed to do whatever he wants, hit these creeps. The pressure is on Tundra right now.
It absolutely is. And they have to do these rotations as a reaction. The reason we're seeing Alliance make the rotations is because it's easy for them. Because their Slark, he's independent in the lane, doesn't need help. Centaur doesn't need help bottom, so they can just play around their Death Prophet. Super nice with these two supports to try to pressure the tower. Tundra does keep it alive, but the next Exorcism is coming in 10 seconds, so they have to have a plan prepared already to set up for that next tower defense. Because as we said, mid-tower, they lose this, they lose access to these ancient stacks and these hard camp stacks that they do have set up for the Medusa later on, that Alliance can absolutely steal.
So what's the play here? How do you defer this?
They got to just be ready with the supports. The supports need to just be sitting around mid with 9. I don't think 9 can actually make rotations to alleviate pressure from Skeeter. I think Skeeter just has to kind of resort to just go to the jungle at this point, and they have to bring the two supports mid pretty early on. Limp actually making the move bottom. Looks like he wants to pressure this one here, but looks like S4's kind of taking it on himself.
Yeah, I mean, the beauty of being a Centaur here is you can just tank some of these shots. It's not a big deal. Fada is going to try to push them back just a little bit. He's trying to soak some of these levels, only sitting at level 4. Limp is here, though. Could get themselves a nice pick off here. Yeah, stomp, everything just lined up perfectly. And honestly, they don't need to use the Exorcism. No. They can just go right back mid and apply the pressure there.
Yep, just swing over. I think both supports as well as Limp and even S4. I think S4 can even make the rotation over. And now you bring like the +1 and then that's where you really threaten Tundra, where it's like, oh God, we need to respond. And Nico Baby, he snuck in. He stole the whole entire hard camp stack here. And they spotted that the ancient camp is also stacked. So
he's going to want to go back for more. You know he is.
He can't really kill Ancients that effectively, S-Lark. They might actually have to use like an Exorcism, but if they bring the whole team, yeah, maybe.
I mean, the way that they're playing right now, yes, Nico Baby's having the space, but eventually that mid tower is going to go down and they can just sweep on in and just start to invade.
And Alliance being a little bit more, they're just being some efficient plays right now, giving the Wyvern the mid lane so he can get level 6. Limp taking jungle, so he's getting good levels as this Death Prophet, and Hanskin gonna start rotating over Torn. And we see this collapse. Look at Centaur's positioning. They're aware of it on Tundra though. They have the wards, they gotta know that this big move is coming, so they have to prepare for it. Can they though? Can they even set up for the defense is the question. I think it's too hard. Tidehunter goes in there, Exorcism is just gonna rip you to shreds, but they just might have to do that so they don't lose that mid tower.
They're trying to put some pressure here on the top tower at the very least. C9, there's going to be the gush. But you have to be careful, though, that they don't dive too hard. As over here in the middle lane, you've got the supports. Over it with Snake King. Skeeter's trying to get some of this damage out as S4 finds himself a Snake King. It's a stomp off. The Exorcism coming in. They'll even go and use the Stampede. They're just going to chase down Snake King. They want to get rid of him as fast as possible, and they'll be able to find it. But they do teleport over here. We've got 33. Does have the Ravage necessary. The step forward here over onto S4. Try to save him a little bit longer. FNG probably going to die for this. They follow up with the Winter's Curse, just holding him in place.
They bring the whole team to defend this tower, while Nico Baby thriving in the bottom lane, getting all the farm in the world. S4 may have stepped up a bit too far here.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly why he's still there, but he does get taunted back, so they'll pick off this S4. But again, this little fishy in the bottom lane is pretty happy just hitting these creeps.
Okay, and he goes for the Echo Saber, so the mana, the mana regeneration is going to be very effective on him to keep his farm up. Then I'd imagine it would be the Diffusal. He's playing versus Medusa and all that, so super effective. Now he's so tanky. This is looking like such a hard game for Tundra. Locking down a Slark as well with their lineup is going to be quite a challenge. They don't really have the easiest stuns to set up onto him.
Yeah, you just have to try to chain stun nonstop. And if you're chain stunning just the Slark, the rest of the team is just going to be able to run around and focus down whoever they want. So definitely a bit of an issue here for the side of Tundra.
And you have to always get into the backlines, right? There's a Wyvern there. So if you blow everything onto a Slark, Wyvern is likely going to be able to save us another D-ward. And this time it is the beauty of the Slark. The Shadow Dance is going to be able to reveal it this time.
I hate playing against Slarks and Zeus, man. They just ripped down all my wards.
It is quite miserable, especially when you start getting behind, you just have no vision to actually get out on the map. As it's 3-3, Alliance keeping up that 3K advantage. Same thing for Experience, about 2K advantage there too.
And that is something that, we've talked about in some of the other series, is just how important vision is, especially when you have a hero like Medusa that needs to be out there on the map. She needs to be farming. But if all your wards are getting taken down, you never know where they're going to be if they're not showing on the map. And that's so scary, which means you have to babysit this Medusa, and you're not allowed to have the freedom to make the space. It's, do you protect or do you try to make moves?
I mean, for them, it's all about protection. Yeah, it's a Medusa game. You kind of have to play that style. 33 started working on Ancients, and they will be able to at least defend the tower long enough. 13 minutes, pretty decent job by Tundra to defend mid when they didn't even have like Snapfire 6 at that point. Not a bad defense, but Alliance, they're getting more out of the map.
I think it's just the fact they've been allowed to be aggressive, and Tundra has to play very reactionary. You just don't get that efficiency when you're playing like that.
Let's see what they can do now, though. They do have 9 up top pushing aggressively. They do have Ravage as well as the Kisses, as well the hook shot. So it can be quite strong here if they do get a good grab.
I do see S4 here. They'll go for the hook shot over on the Centaur. Hold them into place. They'll follow up with these Mortimer Kisses. And they should have enough damage to take down S4, but they do get off that curse as well. So they'll hold Fata into place.
Oh, the Fade Bolt doesn't bounce. That was so close. Fata actually likely would have died if it did. Perfect grab. That's the exact kill they're going for. Like, obviously they want to ever catch Slark, but they can't. There's no way they catch Slark with any of these moves, so that's the best in between that they could have gone for. He does hold the Stampede, though. That's the important thing, is S4 doesn't panic. He kind of just accepts his death. He keeps the Stampede for the next situation.
Oh, that was a brutal death there of the little Kobold. But the other thing, though, too, they don't use the Ravage.
They don't,
so they still have that threat of the Ravage that Alliance has to be very cognizant of.
Damage will be an issue to throw inside the Ravage without Kisses this early on, as they just really have the Medusa and the Void Spirit to rely on that damage. But, yeah, good moves.
It'll be back up soon, about 50-something seconds. But they do have to be afraid of that Exorcism, though, because the Exorcism is back up, and the way that Alliance is playing is they're getting as much efficiency out of it every time that they can. Yule's completed 2 for Limp. It's going to be hard.
And level 12. So he's got level 2 Exorcism now, too. He's got Faded Brooch. They might actually look to perhaps smoke and make a play soon here to wrap around onto the tower. Now that they know Kisses are still down, they do have a bit of a window. Nico Baby's about to have Diffusal Blade. This is coming out so early on. Medusa is also having a pretty decent time based on what ended up happening from earlier, but Nico Baby, he's gonna be ready to fight, and Medusa, she's gonna be able to fight, but she doesn't want to just yet.
Fata does get spotted out over here by the ward. He's gonna go chop it down though, thanks to that sentry.
Yep, we have both offlaners kind of duking it out in the mid lane. One's got a Vanguard and a Hood, the other one's got a Hood. S4, happy when he's able to just chill out and get some time to farm that Blink Dagger after this Hood.
And that's going to be very important for a lot of these engagements, that he gets in and makes those perfect initiations. But some movement coming over here to the mid tower. You can see also Skeeter is nearby.
Diffusal's coming. It's Alliance's time to hit hard onto Tundra right now. And Tundra, let's see how they prepare for it.
Montez completed now for Skeeter as well.
A good job of continuously stalling this tower, keeping it alive as long as possible. Another D-ward.
I don't think they want to go and engage on this, though. Not without... I mean, they're making the spaces. In the bottom lane, they pounce. They get the leash up here. And that's just a dead Fata. Shadow Dance does get used by Nico Baby while this is going on, but...
well worth it.
A nice pick off. This tower's sitting very low. And look at the way Alliance is posturing here. They're buying so much time.
Look at Nico Baby, too. He's a killer. He's
he is just going after snaking. Oh, my goodness. The pounce is up to the high ground, though. Nico Baby will respect that. Stampede coming out, though. He's going to start building up those essence stacks over here on 33. The slow coming out from FNG. They go and they use the Ravage. They jump back around. The Mortimer Kisses coming out. Should be able to connect over into FNG. Not going to be able to stay alive. Hop forward Nico here Baby. From the little Slark. But did he go perhaps too far? Yes, he did. Snaking will find the revenge kill.
They tried to make the move onto the Medusa as Nico Baby was making the swoop around with all that information, but Stone Gaze got popped. That movement speed, the increased movement speed you do get, plus Manta, he's speedy. Skeeter actually just runs away from them even though they're stampeded trying to get on him. And yeah, Nico Baby maybe getting a little bit too aggressive. Tower will go down, but he pays with his life.
9 is going to get just pulled right into the Remnant here. And the cookie hop forward, a little bit off the mark though, perhaps not expecting it. So Hanskin, he's going to survive this. It's a double damage rune over here on Limp. They see Fata, S4 getting into position, does have that Blink Dagger. He's looking for the opening here, does get taunted in by the Remnant. So it looks like maybe they'll have to settle themselves for Fata, unless he can break some ankles here. Can he do it? Now there's the Stomp, the Double Edge, and a couple Plinks over here. S4 will collect a kill.
Still quite impressed with the way that Tundra is handling the situations when they have this Medusa. They're keeping calm. They're not panicking. They're not just going crazy around these tower defenses. They don't mind ravaging in those type of situations because of how slow the pace of the game is. Yeah, some really good stuff. Even though Alliance hit a very big timing there, they're able to keep themselves alive for now. Alliance on the hunt though with the blink, still looking for these plays, looking to utilize this exorcism.
A little bit of the invasion here going on into the triangle. Snaking is showing up, though, for the rune. Immediately, the stomp forward here coming out from S4. Double Edge. Remnant will draw the Death Prophet back, but of course, S4, he's just going to chop him into pieces.
Time while Ravage is down. Unable to really make many plays to counteract Alliance's aggression right now. The line is drawn. They're looking to swoop across the map, trying to get on top of this Medusa for now. Yeah, Limp unable to find any good utilizations of these last few Exorcism in some time. He's just been holding it for the last like 6+ minutes or so.
Well, I think that other engagement over in the middle lane when Nico Baby fell, like after the Ravage was used, it was a little bit, he was excited, right? He got the defusal, and the timings are good right now for the side of Alliance, but they need to find the favorable engagement, and they need to be together. You can't have them that far apart because you just don't have that mobility. Have a little bit more now, obviously, with the Centaur picking up the blink, but smokes get used here on the side of Tundra. They're looking for a fight.
Yeah, Ravage is going to be back up in 3. They've got everything.
Flares out.
They're under vision. But I do believe they scouted that with the sentry.
Look at how tight they're playing, too. And they're just trying to make that room for Medusa.
Who's top of the net worth now. Skeeter has completely caught up after a bit of a rough start. He's got like 3 components of the Aghanims in a second. And he's got Grove Bow. Important to point out, too. Really good item here for him to keep the distance.
Keeping calm and carrying on here over on the side of Tundra. They know that Skeeter's got to be a big boy when he shows up, so there's no point in panicking and just trying to hold everything steady right now.
Yeah, he's got the talent now too, that 15 talent. Alliance still smoked up behind this Centaur. 33 does get a deny because of it.
I have the vision.
Nico Baby. Yeah, he sees that there's a ward there, pings it out instantly. Very likely to get dewarded.
The smoke broke, too, when he went over there. Sparta, just good positioning here. Hook shot in over here onto the Wyvern. He's a little bit too far forward where the rest of his team is. Able to step forward here from 9 over into the pit. Roshan's going to get the kill on FNG.
Oh.
Sparta does fall. 9 needing to be careful here. Does give himself a nice regen, but Limp chasing him.
If they can reset, that's an Exorcism forced. Like, Tundra can just reset away from Limp now, and that's a pretty good trade for them. Although they didn't get the kill, they at least forced that Exorcism. Stupid Roshan taking their kill. Nice commit, and this time it's a perfect grab again. Initiation is going to be really crucial this game, especially from Fada. If Alliance gets the jump, it's going to be really scary, but if Fada's ever able to get into that backline onto the Wyvern, it's exactly what he needs to do, even if he gives his life for it.
Hey, a forced Exorcism is a great thing for Tundra here. Nothing taken with that.
Now they can actually maybe do an aggressive posture themselves for the first time in this game rather than being all these defensive moves. Snaking, gonna be the one to start sieging the mid tower very confidently. Look at this. The Snapfire's going for it. It'll get denied. Oh well.
He tried.
He tried. Let's look at FNG. And smack.
Bam.
Yeah, Roshan's a hater.
I mean, he gets murdered all the time. It's only fair that he gets murdered every once in a while,
Most definitely.
Right? You know?
Quiet game. It's a slow one compared to what we've been seeing lately. 6-7, only 13 kills in 21. I feel like I had like 40 kill games recently in 20 minutes.
I feel like this is an Eastern European game right now, the way that they're playing so methodically. But hey, it's paying off for Tundra. And Alliance just, you know, they had great timings, but they can't find the angle. So look at the Sparta leading the charge. Nope, gonna miss the hook shot here. Don't know if you still want to go in on this. In fact, look at this. They just back off. They're like, okay, we needed to stun lock this Slark. We don't have it now. Just back off.
No, they need absolutely every tool in this game. They were really trying to take advantage of the fact that Exorcism was still down. Exorcism up in 30 Alliance. They're looking for the swing. They see Skeeter.
Yeah, they're going. I believe one of the split shots connected over into the Slark there, too. Bata. Got the sentry up over here. Sentry on sentry, actually. Surprised about that. They didn't see it. But they're going to wrap around the side.
Oh, okay. S4 actually goes for Crimson. I like it quite a lot versus that Medusa, actually. A lot of times I would prefer the Halberd, but I think this is also a good pickup because it's fitting around their timings. They do want to look to be really aggressive around like double BKBs when Limp and Nico Baby have it. They still can play really well versus Ravage in particular when they do have those magic immunities. As FNG again.
Jules gets lined up. He was going for that D ward. Finishes to go grab and use that Winter's Curse. Fly away. It's a step down here from 9 chasing FNG this time. Roche is not going to help him. Hook shot over on the back lines over here onto Slark, but do they have enough to lock him down the entire time as the Exorcism is coming out? And they're still just dancing around, trying to find this opening. They'll taunt over here onto Limp.
Like Tundra, again, forcing the Exorcism and getting away. And holding onto the Ravage themselves. Very nice for him.
Very disciplined.
Yeah, very, very disciplined. 9 also, that was a very nice clutch usage of the Illusion Rune. He got Death Prophet Silence, didn't want to have to use himself in case there was a stun follow-up. Illusions, removed the silence, able to just jump down quickly to get away from that high ground.
I think he used the Yules earlier, too, to set up over on the...
I think you might be right, yeah. So, just did have the Illusion Rune to bail him out, as they are getting, still continuous good farm on Skeeter. Alliance, couple wasted exorcisms, but still, they're still farming good timings. You know, BKB is finished on Slark. BKB is going to be done on Limp, and that does make their fight a lot easier to approach versus Snapfire, Tidehunter, and Void Spirit.
Oh, looks like they're going to try to make a play here on Fata. Blink forward here. Hanskin is here as well. They'll get the lift off, just toss him right back down. Again, they don't quite have enough damage to burst him out as he's just able to hook shot away. S4 just going to tank up this creep wave here. He seems not happy that he was allowed to do that, but he'll drag the creeps off the tower here.
That's a 5-position clock, by the way, everybody.
Tanky boy, and look at this.
They're actually going to go in the Roche Pit with the Gush, with the Shredder, with the Medallion. They're going to take this away from Alliance here.
And Alliance doesn't even seem aware that it's happening.
This is a real heads-up move, Skeeter. Top of net worth, now in Aegis too. Oh, baby. Alliance might be getting some good item timings, but Tundra with some really good map movements right now.
Nico Baby showing here in the bottom lane.
Man, look at this. 1,465 HP. It's such a tanky clockwork. You see that with the Centaur and Rubik movement, unable to do anything to him.
The instant D-ward as well. And Tundra is starting to just start hitting their timings here. As 9 will walk into Limp. Immediately following up with his own Yules, throwing down the Remnant, and there's the BKB that Limp just purchased. He doesn't want to use that defensively, but doesn't know how many other heroes are sitting behind him.
Tundra's making some very good macro plays. Just the movement around the map, sticking together, forcing Alliance to do these bad exorcisms and just unfortunate little misplays. Yeah, it's definitely huge. Keeping this net worth lead low and keeping this Medusa in an excellent position, almost as Scotty. Skeeter's just been left alone, 2-0-3.
He's been allowed to hit creeps, and that's what Medusa likes to do. And even invading over here in the enemy triangle.
Yep.
My question is, how do they...
Whoopsie.
All right. Nobody saw that. It's fine.
He probably just gets lifted and tossed out of the cogs.
Yeah, probably.
Or something, but maybe could have found himself a little bit of kill with the +1. Let's see it again.
Yeah, just
he just whips.
Just a little bit off to the side.
Yeah, that happens to all of us.
Where was the taunt, though? That's the question. You know, you're Rubik. You should be taunting that.
Give him an excellent idea.
The question now is, how does Alliance approach these fights? Because this Medusa is starting to get bigger and scarier. Is that the Scotty coming out right now?
I think it is, yeah. Oh my God. He's massive. Like, he's starting to outscale the Slark too hard. Like, if he gets the next timing, then Slark is going to be a full item behind, and he's not going to be able to get that MKB to be able to deal with all that evasion. This is just really nice moves. Alliance, I feel like for them, they still have to just be a little careful, maybe wait for Aegis, but they can still look to take a fight if Tundra makes a misplay, but Tundra's just not making misplays right now. They're not getting out of position, not feeding kills to the Slark, not feeding essence shifts for those long-duration fights at all. Let's see if they can find anything. Do they have any information on the map right now? Quite limited.
And they see Skeeter over here. Nico Baby. Smoke breaks.
He does.
He's going to try to make the moves here. There's Snake King and Fata nearby. The cogs pushing back immediately, just having to pounce away. It's getting kited quite a bit.
There's a blink now on the Tidehunter and an Aghanims on the Void Spirit. Tundra, really, now they're going to smoke because they still have Aegis. Alliance, they got to be a little cautious here.
They smoke underneath that ward. Did that catch that?
I think it just caught the edge of it. It was very close.
The way that they're moving, though, it implies... I can see Skeeter on the wave here. Fata.
Oh,
hookshot does come in. The immediate follow-up here from S4, though, as they've got the BKB. They should be able to go and take down the clockwork. Immediately, the Stampede running into the back end here as they're just trying to get away from Skeeter. They do have the Exorcism up. Over on the side, Nico Baby clicking down over on Snake King, and they do get the Stone Gaze off. We'll buy a bit more time over here. The Pounce again coming out here from the Slark. He's desperate to get a kill, but they're so tanky right now. He needs to start stacking up those shifts. Cookie hop forward again. They do manage to take down Snake King, but Skeeter just on the back lines, allowed to hit everything as there will be a buyback now coming out from Snake King.
Nico Baby's under vision here. He can't actually heal up. They don't know that that ward's there.
That's a dead FNG.
It is. Snaking buyback. The rest of the team kind of resets. But yeah, this ward doing work. Nico Baby's he was trying to reset and heal from the fight, but that ward spotting him. He can't actually heal from his Shadow Dance. He's trying to poke 33 as much as possible, burn that man out so he won't be able to ravage, but Tundra continuing to be so patient, holding their ultimates, playing around Skeeter very nicely. There's some very good team play coming out from them. That's 9.
Try to make poke a little bit.
No, the BKB is down, so they're trying.
Ooh, the Snapfire Kisses, though. On top of that, are they going to be able to burn them out? They go and burn the Ravage as well. They want this kill on Nico Baby. They want to get rid of the Slark, and they'll get the kill.
Man, Tundra, these are just... Honestly, this is such good play with them just playing around Alliance's timings, and they're just in such a good spot now with this Medusa farm. They've even though the Slark, Nico Baby, absolute free farm, he hasn't been able to find the game that he absolutely wants to. He hasn't been able to get into these backlines, hasn't been able to force any bad ults. Tundra, so patient.
Bottom lane S4 getting dragged into the remnant. 33's here, but they don't have anything, I believe, left in the tank to go and cancel out that TP. So S4 is going to be able to just teleport on out. But yeah, like you said, with the Slark here, it's definitely becoming very difficult. He had these timings, but Tundra, they had his number, it felt, the entire time to say, okay, Slark's got this. This is how we need to play, guys.
Yep. It's just they played together, and also it's just the way they've danced around Limp, right? How many exorcisms now in a row where he's popped it, and he's had to they've all just ran away from him.
Yeah.
Even though they have Centaur for the Stampede to keep them on top of them and all that, and like the Rubik to be able to control people, they haven't been able to keep people inside of that exorcism. Limp, although he had that one effective one in the early game, besides that, it's just been impossible for him. Tundra just dancing.
Were they hoping, you think, to get something like a Nico Baby Faceless Void, do you suppose, with that Death Prophet? It was a very early Death Prophet, too. Both of us were a little bit surprised when we looked at the draft.
They're confident. Limp does really like the hero, so I think that's fine. And I think the Slark, they just been dancing. I think Tundra's just playing a really good game around Alliance. Alliance, they do have a good draft to be able to deal with the Medusa, but, I mean, Tundra's just, yeah, they're playing so well evading these fights, and now, like Skeeter, as we said, he's getting a full item ahead, and he's got a Solar Crest. I don't think they have a Solar Crest on the side of Alliance at all, so Nico Baby's not going to have that amp up. And how's he going to be able to hit through all this evasion when it does come online?
And the negative armor that can be applied to him. In fact, look at this. 33 breaking the smoke.
No Ravage just yet.
Nico thinking about jumping in here. It's just they can't find these favorable engagements.
No.
Look at Fata. He's just like, I'm going to try to get this. Immediately the lift up, toss back, but Skeeter's here, and they've got a decent amount of damage to stomp forward coming out from S4. Can they finish off? Yes, they'll be able to take down Fada. They'll focus down over here on Snaking. The Exorcism does get popped. Snaking is going to get chipped away here by Nico Baby, but they have to turn away here from this Medusa.
They're avoiding the Exorcism again. Look at this.
They just walk away.
Exorcism gets popped. 9 just Astral Steps twice to the top lane. They lose the 2 supports, but it's another Exorcism used that you can't actually get any core kill while Ravage is down. So that's the play where Alliance is trying to hit hard because Ravage is down. Now Ravage is back up. So Tundra, they'll probably respawn and look to fight again with that Exorcism being down. Again, just, yeah,
nice
great understanding and great ways to just dance around it. I'm loving it. Very close game we've got in our hands here. And Butterfly will soon be the timing there for Skeeter. So evasion talent plus Butterfly.
Ooh, Fata. Yules and, the Force though. S4 now, he's a big tanky boy in front, but I'm not sure they want to take this fight. They do have that Ravage available. As Death Prophet's going to be lined up here with the Remnant. So they're just going to try to run away. The BKB actually coming out from Limp. He's just too afraid. He doesn't want to stay here anymore. As now FNG, he's been silenced. He does have the Arctic Bird. He's going to try to break some ankles here, break some trees as well. As he turns around, uses the Winter's Curse. He's just going to try to teleport out here. Is he going to be able to do it? Yes.
Yeah, Limp has to pop a defensive BKB because Fada, again, the killer, he gets on top of the Wyvern. Every single time this Clockwork is getting into the backline perfectly. And yeah, now the evasion is finished up for Medusa. Slark, he's going for Scotty because it's so effective versus these range heroes, but how's he going to even hit the Medusa at this point? Might have to just switch up, honestly. I think he may, as soon as he sees Butterfly, I think he might just have to queue up MKB and go for it because he's never going to be able to deal with that Medusa at this point. He's going to be able to hurt everyone else, but Medusa is the true problem that's starting to build up for Tundra.
I mean, she's the one who just wants to sit smack dab in every fight, right? And just start split-shotting everything. And I mean, you can't afford to ignore her.
No.
But I don't think you have much of a choice, though, either, with what they've got right now.
Yeah, he's committing. So he commits for the Scotty.
Okay, all right.
So it's going to be, has to be long, drawn-out fights for the side of Alliance to have a chance in it. Skeeter, he just knows he's a boss. Even with like Solar Crested up, 38 armor with these double evasions. As you said, Nico Baby doesn't have a Solar Crest behind him.
They have a medallion now. They've got the medallion over on the wire.
They need the Solar Crest though to give him that buff up for the attack speed for himself. So he's getting close to it. FNG, he's probably going to start taking a bit more farm because they know how far behind Nico Baby truly is right now. It only says that 1K, but it's actually quite a big lead right now for Tundra because of how big this Medusa is and how hard the matchup can now start getting.
That's all the timings, right?
Yes.
You know, the fact that, yes, you know, it's fairly close, but one hero does a lot more when they have all that farm.
Absolutely. I mean, Skeeter's just
look at the way they're playing
so
around
well
her,
enabled.
too.
Yeah.
They're playing around this Medusa so perfectly. Fata always in position here to break smokes, being able to kind of poke away. Does have, you know, the insurance policy of being able, if they want to engage, they can. He can go in with a hook shot, or he can just disengage, and then nothing is lost.
9-11. Honestly, one of the slowest games I feel like I've casted here.
Yeah. Each team just playing super carefully and trying to get the perfect advantage. But of course, Tundra, they know they've got the time.
They do. They have such a great scaling lineup with this Medusa, and they also have like crazy potentials of later on where Tundra can get like Aghanims from minus armor and all that. They have a really good draft versus this Alliance one that will start falling off. You know, Death Prophet is strong, but can't do it on her own when Slark is just getting kited so much.
They use the Stampede because they want Fata. Stomp does connect, but immediately the teleports are out. Fata with the hook shot buys just a little bit more time. He will fall, but over on the back lines, they're trying to just erase Handskin. They do manage to find the BKB popped here from Nico Baby as they use the Stone Gaze. He's got to just try to swim away. Goes even using that Shadow Dance here. The silence coming out. They get nice Winter's Curse off. They should be able to go and just burst down 9.
Oh
nice play here from FNG. So he's got to try to just teleport out here. Should be able to, no problem. Good positioning.
That was huge. Beautiful one from that Roche pit to catch them a bit off guard there. That's Nine's first slip up in the game, and FNG finally able to get a setup where he's able to get a good curse, and he gets the kill, which means Solar Crest. Yay! So now we got our Slark. Bit more enabled, still a bit behind as we see he's queuing up MKB. Needs it. Luckily, we did see the Slark. He got a quiver, so he does at least have that True Strike hit to at least pierce through that evasion a little bit on. But time and time again in Alliance, they keep finding Fada, which is not the target they want.
No.
Fada's doing an excellent job of soaking that pressure.
And Fada's absolutely fine with taking that pressure.
Sure is. 5 Clockwork. It's a dream. It's their job.
I thought you were going to do something clever with Fata and 5 and Clockwork there. Maybe next.
I'm not Lacoste. I can't wait. I can't think of these witty puns in the moment.
I'm sure Lacoste will message you one later when he watches this.
He'll think of something.
MKB is completed for the Medusa.
So far ahead.
He's got the butterfly, he's got the everything. Oh my goodness.
She's just full slotted already at this point. It's only 35 minutes in. 500 CS on Skeeter.
Look at this Nico Baby. He's just... All right, the Stomp coming out from S4. Can they do this, though, is the question. They do have the Exorcism this time around. They've got the Silence. Can they burst him away, though? It's not looking good enough as the Stampede does indeed come out. They're going to chase after Skeeter, but they've got the Stone Gaze. Spots falling on the back lines. Over here as well, Nico Baby is just being healed up.
They got to disengage on the side of Tundra. Skeeter's out of mana. He didn't even have a single, not even one Mystic Snake. They burned out the whole mana pool. Is there a Roche up? There is.
They do.
And they have the Exorcism going. This is big. Skeeter's not ready to fight. He's completely out of mana. They can't, I don't think they can go into this.
I mean, they could try to go in there with a Ravage, but it's suspect. I don't know.
That's how you get your Medusa killed. She has literal 0 mana. They have to just give this up now.
Yeah, look at them. They're turning away. And the silences get tossed out by Limp just in case, you know, they decide to do anything a little cheeky there. But also get the Depth Shroud picked up here for Slark with that Shard.
Very nice. One of the better shards on these carries that we've seen, at least to protect your teammates. As a big hit Alliance. This time they do get not an effective Exorcism for kills, but an effective Exorcism to force the Medusa away and then get a good Roshan. That's nice.
They're able to take some sort of objective this time around. Otherwise, you know, before poor Limp, he'll ult, and they just run away and they get absolutely nothing. At least they can get the Roche.
Yeah, and we are seeing the itemization to deal with Medusa, of course, coming into play. Halberd is finished on the Centaur, one of the most effective items versus that ranged carry, of course. She always just sits there. That's going to be really nice. And yeah, Linko Baby, now he has freedom. He has protection to be able to finish up that MKB likely on time because of Aegis.
How much does this change the game, though?
Quite a bit, actually. They're starting to get a lot of farm on 3 cores, and Nico Baby will eventually be able to stick onto the Medusa. And these BKBs, they've been forced to pop them quite a lot of times. It's down to 6 seconds, but they're always super effective versus Tidehunter.
Right.
I think this will give them a really good window to look for the next fights, as there's also an Arcane Rune. Once they get these type of map control, you even get Rune control too. Yeah. It does benefit, you know, these Slarks and Death Prophets quite a lot.
And it has been a vision battle between these two teams. The amount of wards that have been picked up, dewarded, all of that.
It's a super close game. Like, it's all about these initiations and just disengaging versus certain spells and everything from both sides. It's been quite beautiful. It's Timeless Relic picked up. Very nice pickup for
Illusionist Cape too.
Yeah, for our Void Spirit in particular. And yeah, Illusionist Cape, if Skeeter does want that one, he can swap it in between that and the Growth Bow a little bit.
It's got options.
Does indeed. That's a good one to constantly push the lane in.
Well, they take the bottom tower during all of this here.
And now Nico Baby, he's got his MKB, so now he can actually stand toe-to-toe versus this Medusa like he couldn't before. It's a very slow-paced game. Both teams are kind of playing this like chess kind of style of just waiting for the other to make a little slip-up that will just cost them the game. It feels like one fight is going to be the entire like decision maker of what happens in this game.
It's quite possible that it could be, too. All right, Nico Baby, though, is going to be putting some pressure down here on the tower. He's got that Solar Crest from FNG to keep him nice and healthy here. But they back off for now. Make their rotation here over towards that triangle area.
They're still so close.
Skeeter just gonna walk on by.
Flicker.
They go for a...
They don't have all their tier 4 items yet on the side of Alliance. I believe Tundra did find all of theirs already.
Nico. It's immediately going to turn back around. He is stoned.
Ow.
He's gonna have to flip-flop out here. Again, the rest of the team smoked up behind him except for Limp.
He knows he's under ward vision, not healing up to full. He's got the salve going to protect himself, though, to keep him full.
He's going back in again.
Nice.
Immediately, though, or they just blow him up.
Very nice.
Limp over here on the back lines. I think he just tried to disengage. I don't know if they'll be able to. Okay, the BKB comes out from Nico Babies. He's just focusing down over here onto this Medusa.
He's just getting kited. His whole BKB is down. He's scared to fight now.
They grab S4. And again, look at this damage coming out from Skeeter. And it's forced to go and pop the cheese over the back line, so the Ravage doesn't get used, but they've already used the BKB, so they get the stun off. There's a follow-up here. Yule's coming out again.
He's got a stolen Ravage on Hanskin right now.
Do they go back in, though, is the question here. S4 just trying to get off the damage. Fata throwing out the cog spin.
There it is.
There's the Ravage that they stole. So turn right back around. They get the kill over onto Snake King. And the buybacks are out. S4, he's ticking down. There's too much damage. He's next to fall. As Nico Baby is hunting, he's trying to find Skeeter. We'll focus over here onto 9, but he needs to get his hands on him. He needs to lock him into place. As Skeeter still looking very healthy here. FNG trying to help, has that Arctic Burn. They have to sidestep this Remnant, and they're not going to be able to, as Limp's exit does end up just ending at this point. They just aren't able to take down Skeeter here. All right, the Winter's Curse holding him in place for a little bit. Nico sitting so very low during all this. He needs to back off. He needs to get that health back up again.
But he's got stacks. He's got Essence stacks. He's looking for more blood.
Back in. Hop forward, go Scepter here from Snake King. Nico, easy gone a little bit too far, though. Does have that Shadow Dance, the taunt, the silence. Turning back around, the heal coming out now from FNG, trying to buy just a bit more time. Has the rest of the team behind him, has the BKB back up as well.
God, the fight lasts so long, the BKB does come back off cooldown. He's able to disengage.
Oh, the
Upshot though, Fata.
He grabs up Nico Baby. They just blob Hanskin and Nico Baby. All right, FNG, he's trying. He's done everything he can to try to save the boss, but he's not going to be able to. As he gets used up into the air, Nico Baby over here on the side might be able to get down Snakey, but he has a Ghost Shepherd.
He's TPing?
TPing out. They don't have the vision. They don't have any way to stun him out. Nico Baby.
Oh my God.
He is an escape artist. You know, we hear of Slarks, you know, escaping Dark Reef Prison, but this time around, this is very impressive.
Oh, I'm so stressed out for Nico Baby actually in this game. It's like there's so many things that are tripping him up. Sure, he's got Dark Pact to be able to remove stuff and all that, but there is just so many different forms of little disables that are tripping him up. Mystic Snake, the silence coming out from the Void Spirit, Scatter Blast, knockback with Snaking with the Shard. It's not an easy game for the Slark to stick on these targets, and Alliance, even though they hit hard with the way that they've been pushing forward, Tundra still show that they can fight back even though they don't have the Ravage during all this situation, and they're fighting into the Slark, who has all these Essence Shift stacks.
God, look at that hook shot. I thought for sure,
Fata.
oh my God, Fata.
He's on fire this game. Even though he's like 0-9 or 0-10